Hi everybody, today we look at the Schrödinger equation, which is considered to be the fundamental equation of quantum mechanics. This is the fundamental equation of quantum mechanics, just like second law of motion is the fundamental equation of Newtonian mechanics. So we are considering the Schrödinger equation, the fundamental equation of, or the most important equation of quantum mechanics. It is basically a wave equation in terms of variable psi. We have seen wave equation at several places. This is the wave equation corresponding to variation in a quantity y, dou square y, dou x square, equal to 1 by v square, dou square y, dou t square, where y is the variable, it's a function of x position, and time t, v is the velocity with which the wave is advancing. So this is the wave equation which represents the variable y corresponding to the disturbance. In quantum mechanics, it is psi, the wave function, that varies. So the wave in quantum mechanics actually corresponds to the variation in psi, the wave function. So here you will get a equation, wave equation for psi, because psi is varying here. Now psi for a particle which is moving freely in positive x direction, that is specified by psi equal to a e to the power exponential minus I omega t minus x by v. So we are choosing the wave function for a particle which is moving freely. Freely means it is not acted upon by any potential. There is no potential 0, or in generally we can say potential is a constant. So it is free, the particle is free, and its wave function is chosen as, or it is specified by psi equal to a e to the power minus I omega t minus x by v. Psi is a function of time and x. Okay. So we choose omega equal to 2 pi nu, and nu equal to v, the velocity v equal to lambda nu, that we substitute here. For omega we substitute 2 pi nu, and for v we substitute lambda nu. So you will be getting e to the power minus I 2 pi. Nu we are taking inside, so nu t minus. Here for v we are substituting lambda nu, so we will have x by lambda here. So that is the equation v. Now we know we take energy here as equal to h nu, isn't it? E equal to h nu, so that is equal to 2 pi h by 2 pi nu. That means this is 2 pi h cut nu. Okay, this is 2 pi h cut nu. H by 2 pi is h cut. So lambda equal to h by p. Lambda equal to h by p, that is equal to 2 pi h by 2 pi p. That is 2 pi h cut by p. Okay, so lambda is equal to the de Broglie equation h by p. That can be written as 2 pi h cut by p. Okay, now from 1 I can write nu as equal to e by 2 pi h cut. Nu is e by 2 pi h cut, and from equation b, this equation now we are transforming. It now becomes a e exponential minus I by h cut. For nu we have written e by 2 pi h cut. That's why we have et here. And for lambda we are writing 2 pi h cut over p. So we have this minus px here. So psi is equal to a e to the power minus I by h cut et minus px. So equation C, this describes, okay, this equation that describes the wave function of an unrestricted particle, a free particle. Unrestricted means free particle of total energy E and momentum P moving in the positive x direction. So this one represents the wave function of a free particle of total energy E and momentum P moving in the plus x direction. Okay, so starting from this equation that we assumed, okay, this equation that we assumed, we are taking this equation as the wave function of a free particle. From that we are arriving at this relation, okay, which is written in terms of energy and momentum. Now what we do is we take dou square psi by dou x square. That means we are differentiating this with respect to x partially 2 times. So first time we differentiate, you will get minus I by IH cut minus P psi. That means IH cut P. When you differentiate 2 times, you will have IH cut I by H cut P square. Okay, so you will be getting this dou square psi by dou x square is equal to I square is minus 1. So minus P square by H cut square psi. From this, I can write P square psi as equal to minus H cut square dou square psi by dou x square. Okay, I think this is clear to you. Now, I am partially differentiating this with respect to time. Okay, partially differentiating this with respect to time. So minus I by H cut E will come outside. I will be getting minus IH cut E psi. So that is written here. So dou psi by dou t is here. So E psi is minus H cut by I dou psi by dou t. So this is E psi and this is P square psi. And we need it in the following equation. Now we consider a general case. Suppose that we have a particle of momentum P which is moving under a potential U which is a function of x and t. Okay, so we have a particle of mass m which is moving with the momentum P and it is under a potential. Potential is there, potential U. So its kinetic energy is P square by 2m. Its potential energy is U. Okay, so total energy is kinetic energy plus potential energy. So that is written here, E equal to P square by 2m plus U xt, Ke plus P. Now what I do is I multiply this with psi, the wave function. So I have E psi equal to P square by 2m psi plus U psi, where U, as I told, it is a potential energy that represents the influence of the rest of the universe on the particle. How the rest of the universe is affecting the particle. That is what is represented by the potential energy. For example, if you take an electron moving in a hydrogen atom, we know the electron is moving in a under the influence of the nucleus. Nucleus is positively charged. It is attracting the electron. So it is definitely, the electron is definitely not a free particle. It is moving under the influence of a potential created by the attraction between the nucleus and the electron. So U is such kind of such a quantity which represents the influence of how the universe, rest of the universe affects or influencing the motion of the particle. Okay, so what we are going to do now is we are replacing E here by this I h cut dou psi by dou t. I can multiply this equation by I in the numerator and denominator. So I will be getting E psi as equal to I h cut dou psi by dou t. Okay, so I am writing for E psi, what I am doing is I write this I h cut dou psi by dou t, and for this p square psi is this minus h cut square dou square psi by dou x square. So that is written here, minus h cut square by 2m dou square psi by dou x square plus u psi. Okay, so in this general equation for total energy, I am substituting for E psi and p square psi. So I am getting this equation, and this is called the time dependent form of the Schrödinger equation, the most important, the fundamental equation of the quantum mechanics. Okay, and this is in one dimension because you have only x here. In 3 dimension, the equation becomes this I h cut dou psi by dou t equal to minus h cut square by 2m. Here for 3 dimensions, x, y, z, we have dou square psi by dou x square, dou square y by dou y square, dou square psi by dou z square plus u psi. Okay, now u will be a function of x, y, z and t. Okay, so this is the Schrödinger equation in 3 dimensions. Okay, this is called time dependent because it involves time, dou psi by dou t. Okay, time dependent Schrödinger equation. Now the validity of the Schrödinger equation. Actually, we have obtained Schrödinger equation in a kind of tricky way. Here, the wave function that we first specified, this is the wave function for a free particle. This is the wave function for a free particle. And from that, we obtained p square psi and E psi. P square psi and E psi was obtained from that. Then we had a general equation for a particle moving under the influence of potential. Then the particle is no longer free. Okay, the general equation, kinetic energy plus potential energy that we are taking. So the particle is not free. And in that equation, we substituted for p square psi and E psi, which is obtained from the wave function for a free particle. Okay, so there is a kind of indiscrepancy or kind of discrepancy here. We are applying results which are obtained for free particle in the equation for a particle moving under the influence of a potential. Okay, so the kind of ambiguity here, ambiguity is there, that is explained. Okay, now this is explained, or the justification is given in, if we use this Schrödinger equation, okay, the time dependent Schrödinger equation, and try to solve physical problems. Okay, we apply this for many physical problems, and the theoretical results that we get, we will be getting theoretical results. And when we compare the theoretical results with the experimental results, okay, if we compare the theoretical results with the experimental results, we see the results perfectly agree. Okay, so Schrodinger equation you use for solving physical problems. You will be getting theoretical results, and those theoretical results perfectly agree with the experimental results. So that clearly shows the validity of the Schrodinger equation. So although Schrodinger equation we obtained not in a proper way, we didn't get it in a proper way, the results, theoretical results predicted by the Schrodinger equation perfectly agree with the experimental results. So that clearly validates the Schrodinger equation. Okay, and I would like to add, Schrodinger equation cannot be derived. Actually, the Schrodinger equation cannot be derived from other basic principles of physics. It is a basic principle itself. Schrodinger equation is a basic principle itself. Just like, the Newton's law of gravitation. There is force of attraction between two bodies. That's a basic thing or a basic principle. Just like that, Schrodinger equation cannot be derived from other basic principles of physics. It is a basic principle itself. So that validates the Schrodinger equation that we obtained here.